Hello neighbor, this is Curt with eTrailer, and today we're going to take a look at the Inno Aero roof rack. We're going to see how it works with our 2025 Chevy Trailblazer. When on your next journey, you might find yourself needing some space for items that either don't fit in the vehicle with you or you just don't want riding in the vehicle with you. And a roof rack is an excellent way to do that. Roof racks can hold different accessories like cargo carriers, bike carriers, roof baskets, and roof cargo boxes, all of which can make your next journey that much easier. So the Inno Aero roof rack is an Aero style crossbar, meaning that it has kind of an ovular shape, wider in the front, narrower in the back. This shape actually helps reduce a lot of the vibration that you can get in roof racks as you're going down the road. Therefore, it's going to make it a lot less noisy than your more traditional square or circle bars. They also have a tendency to give us a decent weight capacity. And in the case of these, we do have a weight capacity of 165 pounds. However, it's always important to double check your owner's manual and see what the rooftop weight capacity is of your particular vehicle. Whichever number is lower, that's the limit of weight that you can carry up on your roof. Generally, rooftop accessories come in two mounting styles. You've got your clamp mounted style, and these are just the right size and shape that they're going to fit with pretty much anything you get out there. As far as that goes, but you also have an opportunity to do T-track mounted accessories. So through our end cap here, I'm going to depress this tab underneath and pull this off. We find this weather strip that you can actually push down on and slide your T-slot accessories across to their desired location. So that is an excellent benefit as well. Not only that, but this is an overhang style as opposed to a flush style. So a flush style crossbar is one where the bar is going to actually dead end inside the tower. I think those kind of styles are excellent for vehicles that are a little bit lower to the ground than we have here. They also have a tendency to be a little bit of a cleaner look. So if you're more about look than function, a lot of people go with the flush style. I personally prefer an overhang style. It just gives us that much more crossbar space to work with. Plus, we have the opportunity, as long as we're within our weight limit, to mount one accessory over on the passenger side and another on the driver's side. We can use our clamp mounted accessories outside of the tower as well. It's just a lot more maneuverable than your flush style. But let's go ahead and take a look at just how this fits on the top of our Trailblazer. There are some things that we always want to measure just as far as how it fits a particular vehicle. Our Trailblazer today has a flush mounted rail. So it does take a particular fit kit, so double check. Make sure you're using our fit guide on our website to put in your year, make, and model and give yourself the correct fit kit. So because it's a fixed mounted system though, we don't really have an opportunity to move these bars up here wherever we want. They're going to be attached in a certain location. So it's really, really important to know what your crossbar spread is. That measurement is going to be from the center of one crossbar to the center of the other. And the reason that it's important is because every rooftop accessory has a minimum and a maximum crossbar spread. So you want to know what that is. Make sure you get the right accessory for your rooftop. So if I'm measuring from one to the other, we end up with a crossbar spread of 27 7/8 inches. So just shy of 28 inches. And that's actually a pretty decent spread. Reason I'm saying that is because those minimum maximums, they're often somewhere in between, or they begin anyway, in between that 25 and 35 inch mark. So a 28 inch crossbar spread actually doesn't concern me too much. I know that most rooftop accessories that I look at are going to be able to fit up here just like that. The other thing I want to double check on is going to be basically our vehicle height once we have these on. If you're worried about low clearance areas, you're going to want to know what the height of your vehicle and the height of your accessory are, and you're going to add it to this measurement, which is going to be from the middle of our roof to the top of our crossbar, bringing us in at 4 3/4 inches. The other thing that we're going to double check is how much space we have underneath the bar, and with that, we're looking at 3 3/4 inches. So that's actually plenty of room under here for any of those clamp mounted accessories I had mentioned earlier. And if the vehicle ends up being too tall, there is a really good way to end up getting these off of there if you're going into a low clearance area or you need to run it through an automatic car wash. I'm going to show you that in just a minute as we walk through the installation. The first step of our installation is to remove these plugs that are located along the inside of our rails. These are our fixed mounting points. This is where we're going to be putting in our brackets to hold on our roof rack towers. So we're down to this last one here. Now, on the Chevys, on these flush rails, these plugs can be a little bit tricky. So you see a little slot in there that would indicate it would just unscrew with a flathead. It's not entirely true. It kind of partially loosens it up so you can get something flat underneath it and pry it out. So what I found kind of the best method to get these out if you don't want to hurt any of them and be able to reuse them. Now, most people, when they put a roof rack up on their roof, it's not going anywhere. Once it's up there, and the plugs aren't necessary. But in case you wanted to be able to reuse the plugs, like we will be today, there's a pretty safe way to get these out that I found. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my flathead and I'm just going to loosen it a little bit. Now what this does when you loosen it a little bit is it gives you a little clearance around these edges away from the rail so you can get some kind of flat pry tool in there. So what I have today is a trim tool. This is something that can be found in any hardware store or auto parts store. Relatively inexpensive as well. But I have done this before where I've used a thin spackler, just something thin that you can get underneath there and kind of help get some separation. So as I get this flat edge underneath the lip of the plug, I'm going to go ahead and take my flathead and just slowly rotate it around. And this is going to help me get separation on all four sides of it. And once I've got some decent separation there, I'm going to take a pronged pry tool, make sure that I get it under there really good. And I'm just going to slowly work it out, just like that. Now, it's important to note that you do want to make sure that you really get it all the way under here. It's happened to me before where one side got under and the other didn't. This top here is really, really flimsy, and it can snap in half, just making it more difficult for you to get it out. But if you work it like this and pull it out, you should be able to get it out undamaged. With our plugs removed, we're going to go into our fit kit and we're going to grab this bracket here and we're going to align it so that this tab is facing inward on the vehicle, just like this. We're going to take our M6 by 18 bolts. That's going to be the longer of our M6 bolts. And I'm just going to hand thread this in for now just to get the bolts set. I'm going to do that on both sides here. Now the bolt holes on this bracket are slotted, so we got a little bit of maneuverability back and forth here. It doesn't really matter how you set this up as long as the bracket directly across from it is set up the same way. So if I'm going to set this up with it all the way back, I want that bracket on the passenger side to be all the way back. I'm going to set it up all the way to the front. The reason that I tend to do this on roof racks is because I do, even though it is a minute amount, I do want to create the maximum crossbar spread that I can when it comes to these fixed mounting points, just because I feel like that just kind of gives you a little more opportunity with those rooftop accessories. But once I have those set, I'm going to go ahead and slide it toward the front, grab the provided L tool, and I'm just going to tighten these up. Once that's complete, we have this plastic cover that also came in our fit kit. And I'm going to lay that to where these holes are lined up right over these bolt holes. They actually fit in really snug, nice in place. Then I'm going to take this piece here. Now this piece is located underneath your tower, so you could take this out, and at that point I'm going to set this on top of here with this tab that's up here facing toward the inside of the vehicle. I'm going to line that up with the bolt holes. Then I'm going to take the M6 by 15 bolts and I'm going to drop those in, and I'm going to fasten these down as well. Now these also have a slotted bolt hole, so again, whether you put it forward, you put it back, just make sure you're doing the same thing on the opposite side. So after everything is fastened down nice and tight, I just want to go over this other piece that comes in our kit. Inno provides these plastic caps for our brackets in case we ever want to remove our roof rack because we're running the vehicle through an automatic car wash, or in case we're worried about some roof clearance issues, we're going somewhere where it's really low hanging. And really all these do is just kind of snap on into place just like so. And this way you don't have to uninstall your brackets at any point. You could just simply unclamp your towers and your crossbar, slap this cap on, run it through wherever you need to, pop this off and put your crossbar back on when you're ready to use it. And with the brackets in place, our next step is going to be to set up our towers and crossbar. So I'm just going to go ahead and take our crossbar and turn it over on its back. And back here what we'll find are these T-slots and kind of a more open space right here. What I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to basically, as you open this up, it may come like this. We need to use this open space here. So I'm going to depress this tab and I'm going to slide this all the way over just like that until all of this is opened up as it is right now. At this point, I'm going to take my tower and with this knob facing the outside, I'm going to end up setting these tabs down into this space. But it's a little bit of a tight fit, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up on this clamp here. What happens when I do that is that these parts here become a lot looser. It's going to allow it to slide down that T-track. So I'm just going to set it in its place right now and slide it over. And as I do that, this is going to engage and slide over with it. And I'm going to repeat this process on the other side of my crossbar. We're going to align this to go up on the front bar area here. And when you line this up, just make sure that the wider part of the crossbar is facing the front of the vehicle and the narrower part of the crossbar is facing the rear of the vehicle. Now, it's always helpful if you have somebody here to help you out, just to make sure it gets lined up on the other side. But this is still pretty easy to do on your own. If this is too tall for you to do this, go ahead and grab a small step ladder or something, give you some leverage. But what I'm doing is I'm just kind of orienting over on the other side where that tower needs to go. And as I line this up, I want to make sure that this part of my tower goes on the inside of this bottom of this bracket right here. But I am going to do this here, and I'm going to double check on the other side too, make sure it clamps on correctly. If your clamp is still too tight to actually get it to drop in where you need it, just a little bit of a tip here. If you loosen up this knob, that just allows your clamp to open up a little bit wider for you. And once you do that, you can get your thumb behind it, open it up, and it'll drop right in just like so. Before we tighten anything down, our crossbar is still maneuverable up here. So what we want to do is create an equal amount of overhang on both the driver and the passenger side. And by overhang, I mean this amount of bar here that's coming out from the tower. So we're going to grab our measuring tape and we're going to get a measurement here. And what we're going to end up doing is just going back and forth until we get it equal on both sides, and then we'll come back to get it tightened. I'm going to lift up on this tab here that's underneath our tower, and as I kind of hold that down, I'm going to go ahead and tighten this knob right here. And as I tighten this up, you may feel this lever kind of give a little bit, but every time I kind of press up on it and give it some pressure, I end up just having more room to go ahead and get this tightened down. Now, what this is doing is it's simultaneously tightening our clamp onto our brackets while tightening our crossbar onto our towers. So I'm going to end up tightening this up on both sides. But once you get that complete, go ahead and give it a little bit of test, give it a good shake. As you can see, this is moving the car, but it's not moving the bar. So we've got it nice and tight, and now we can go ahead and place our covers on. Slides in just like that. You've got your key here. Go ahead and lock it. And now your entire roof rack is complete. But all in all, I do think that this kit from Inno is an excellent option for you and your 2025 Trailblazer. But if after watching this video, you decide that you agree and you want to go ahead and go with this, once you get it set up and are able to use it a few times, please share with us what you think about it in the comments below. We would love to share that experience with other neighbors just like you so they can make the best decision for themselves. Once again, this is Curt with eTrailer. Thanks for stopping by.